Howdy, howdy, everybody. Should be hearing me fine. If you are not, please let me know. What's up, Bagel? So, Bagel, can you hear me fine? Or do I need to adjust my sound at all? If anybody is watching this on Rewind, I hope you enjoy. If you are watching this while it's live, I'll probably be live for at least an hour, maybe a couple hours. And if you are seeing down in the bottom left-hand corner a play button, you're going to see where there's also like a live. And if that word is grayed out, you would like to click on it so you'll be in the red unless you're wanting to watch the entire program regardless what time you come in here. And I greatly do appreciate everybody. Thank you everyone who sends in gifts, the comments, giving a thumbs up, and sharing this with others. Greatly do appreciate you. So thank you so much, everybody. Now, what you are looking over here is we are waiting for President of the United States, Donald Trump, to be giving an address. Now, this isn't an address to the nation. That won't be until next year. This is kind of just like a random one, but we do kind of have an idea of what it's going to be about. The ideas are, till 9. So, I mean, it is 9/11 right now, or am I in the future? But how I feel this is going to go is it's going to be about, give me just a second. Let me close out of that just because I'm not a fan of ads. What I feel it's going to be about is him saying, hey, we're signing a mineral with Ukraine on their deal, getting that over, and then am I really in the future? Man, I am so in the future. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyhow, we'll hang out for an hour until this starts. So we got another 40 minutes to go. So I don't know where I was thinking I was. But anyhow, I was thinking I was, in the doing this early. But I was like, no, I'm not doing it that early. But anyhow, it's all right. That's how I think it's going to go. I jumped the lines. Yeah, I did. So I think that it'll be in discussions of how Canada's behaving, if you like it or not, but how that is going. So doing good tonight. I do appreciate you all being in here. Not sure you can listen to this for an hour. It's okay. So let's do this. Y'all already heard my breakdown of stuff earlier. Y'all seen my little short videos. So let's just do that. And I already closed out of those 2 videos. Give me just a second. I'll bring them over, okay? And then, what you talking about, Willis? That's exactly right. So, first thing that we know is that there is going to be a deal met with Ukraine by tonight, if not already. And then I'm going to show the videos of what Canada is saying. Now, I know I got a lot of Canadian followers, so I look forward to engagement. This is going to be the first video I'm going to start out with. And let me turn on the sound for y'all and turn off the mic for me, and we'll listen to this.
Tariffs and the measures my fellow premiers are bringing forward. This Team Canada's opening response.
Hold on, let me fix the mic. Sorry.
It's done. It's gone. In our country.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had so many different sounds going on.
And the measures my fellow premiers are bringing forward. Going one step further, we're ripping up Ontario's contract with Starlink. It's done. It's gone. We won't award contracts to people who enable and encourage economic.
Okay, let me start all over again. Sorry, yeah, Jamie did it. What we're going to do is, because everything's messed up right now, because I came in way too early, we are going to listen to this video here that starts with how Canada is talking about retaliations and things they sound like they're definitely doing. We're also going to discuss the Dow below, because a lot of people believe that the Dow is off by 1,000 points, and it's over the course of a week. And the Dow, just to let you know, has roughly 30 to 50 times in the last 20 years. You can actually go and check that if you want to, how many times the Dow has gone below 1,000 points within 5 days. Now, the course of over 2 days, now that's another story. That's where you see it happen just about every other year, and it does happen. 2018, 2020, 2022, I believe that has happened. But I know there's this funny little thing going around to where people are saying that, you know, how Trump said at one point in time, and I don't even know if Trump really said it or not, but that people are saying that Trump said in the past that if a president dropped the Dow below 1,000 points, then they should be impeached. And now people are trying to act like this below represents that statement. It doesn't. It goes over the course of 5 days. So does that make sense to everybody? I know I said that awfully fast. I can repeat it in a much slower term. But to give you an idea, over the course of 5 days, it has dropped 1,000 points. It hasn't been over the course of 2 days. You also have to let Dow actually finish out. And there is a couple of articles that someone sent me that was like, see this article? And I'm like, dude, it's literally talking about this morning of starting off, not at the end of the day. So that's not how you do this. You do it beginning of yesterday and then the end of today, if that's how you're going to do it. So the course of 48 hours. So, but yeah, if you're wanting to do that, for me, I personally don't give a frank. I understand that there's a lot of things that make the Dow go down. For instance, you know, the pandemic, you know, played a hit. For instance, you know, the 2008, you know, played an effect. So anyhow, all right, now let's check out this guy here, what he is saying this morning on the retaliations towards America. And after he says what he says, I'm going to give my opinion. Melanie, thank you so much for the gift. I greatly do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Melanie. Do appreciate that. Thank you, everybody who is telling Melanie. Thank you. I appreciate y'all doing that. Thank you so much. All right, let's do this, and we will listen to this video.
Economic attacks on our province and our country. Alongside going one step further, we're ripping up Ontario's contract with Starlink. It's done. It's gone. We won't award contracts to people who enable and encourage economic attacks on our province and our country. Alongside federal tariffs and the measures my fellow premiers are bringing forward, this Team Canada's opening response.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, when you listen to it, sounds like he's just going after Elon Musk, as you will. However, what he fully goes on to say is that they're not going to allow Americans to bid on any contracts that take place in Canada. So Trump does a tariff on the entire nation. Let's go, Charlotte, with the gift of thanks for being you. Greatly do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go. I appreciate that. They're much better and much kinder over here on the YouTube side to me. Thank you so much. So here we have where tariffs are placed for a Red Angel. Let's go. Thank you so much. Greatly do appreciate that. Red Angel. Let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, everybody who is telling Red Angel, Charlotte, and Melanie. Thank you so much, because this is why I'm able to do this full time. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Let me fix the lighting just a little bit. And that seems a little too bright. Way too bright. I don't know. I don't like that light. We're going to leave it like that. Okay. Anyhow. So here's my thing. Trump's doing a tariff on the entire nation. Okay? And that takes an effect on Canada to do as you will. All right? Now, Canada retaliation is doing it to where they're actually going after the citizens. And Brandy, let's go. Thank you so much. Throwing in the silly Willy. And that's because I did the video of where I said, what you talking about, Willis? She said silly Willy, and they banned her comment. Who knows why, but yep. Thank you so much, Brandy. Greatly do appreciate you. So, why is it that Canada is directly going after citizens of America? It'd be one thing if Canada said, hey, we're going to raise our tariffs on this, even prices of things. I don't even care if it's their fuel, their petroleum. That's fine. So be it. So, Ken, thank you for the gift. And Ken said, well, that was dumb. Who is Starlink's competitor? Nobody. Go ahead and make it. That's a great point, Ken. Excellent point. Who is their competitor? NASA. Where's NASA from? Anybody remember where NASA's from? And just furthermore of what Ken's saying, but here you have Starlink supplying internet service to your people, helping them out. It doesn't really sound all that good now, does it? So, yes, so Canada did. I forget the percentage, but yes, you're correct, Corey. Canada did sit there and start with a retaliation tariff, to which Trump said, everything that you increase, we're going to increase even more. And let's do it this way. So we get about 50+% of our fuel from of all the fuel in America that gets imported in of things like petroleum. 50% that comes from Canada. And you're like, dude, wow. Well, the rest are just like 10% or 2 or 1%. It's very low. However, there is major places that can fill that gap. Now, will they increase their prices knowing that America needs it? I believe they would. Why would they not? But Rachel throwing in with the "you're amazing, let's go." I love it so much better here on YouTube. I get paid a lot better on percentages. Y'all, lots. I can be more open and more freely. But thank you so much. Greatly do appreciate that, Rachel. Thank you, everybody who's telling Rachel thank you. Greatly do appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all. Thank you, Rachel. So there's a place called Saudi Arabia, and there's another place called Iraq. And they're the leaders in it. However, there is the politics that are involved in it. How will that go? Now, I think our relationships with Saudi Arabia have been doing better since we pulled out of not gaining so much from them. So I do think that will be a really good chance for us. The other thing is there's a good number 3 here. That's Venezuela. Venezuela is one that could step up. Now, you do have where America has sanctions on Venezuela, they would have to be laxed. But I wouldn't be surprised to see an uptick from Venezuela if this keeps coming. Let's go, Ink Patriot. Thank you so much. Throwing in the thank you for everything you do. Thank you so much, Ink Patriot. And becoming a member to the War Deadpool community team. Spicy, thank you so much. Greatly do appreciate you on that. So that's how we would have to go after Venezuela. Now, here's the number 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We're going to get into that. 4th would be Brazil. Now, Brazil is definitely more pumping into Latin America and everything. But its production has been ramping up in the last, few years. Could they do more? That's a question. The way that Brazil would have to do more is we would have to build up their infrastructures, but America could do it. It could be one of these to where we help each other out, just like the Panama Canal, for instance, to where we go and do something, we benefit out of it. And that could be one of those things to where we could tap into Brazil with building their infrastructure, and we still pay X amount, but we also get a break out of it, and they're able to supply more to other places to increase their overall revenue. So I could see Brazil possibly being one. It wouldn't be something that would happen overnight. Venezuela would be the one that would happen overnight. Iraq, Saudi Arabia would be the ones that happen overnight. But we hear anything in Brazil going on, man, that's going to be big news, because that's going to be a sign of where Canada's just not going to play a factor that much on us anymore. We have the resources here in America, and that's a great point as well. Trump has talked about that, but we have to sit here, get through laws, and we have to build those infrastructures up. So that is a great point, Ken, and I'm right there with you. Can we do it? I hope so. That type of stuff doesn't bother me. I'm one of those people that if you are negative towards it, or you believe in all these laws that prohibit us to doing that type of stuff, then I'm going to tell you, I think you should be. I think you shouldn't be benefiting from countries that don't abide from those laws. So that's just how I feel. You know, I'm not one of these that's going to sit here and be like, oh, you need to move out. No. I'm just telling you, like, if you're for a law, make sure it's a law that everyone has to abide from. So that's just how I feel. I mean, if there's something that I don't like, I don't get it from that place. Number 5 is places like near Nigeria and other places like that. But Africa oil producers have been limited capacity, but they've been drastically increasing production. They could offer like a little bit of production, a portion more is what they could do. Let's see. Mexico could increase. I don't know about that much, but they could a little bit. Colombia would be another one who could increase a little bit. And then if we actually increased, domestic production, so if we did that would help out as well. With doing, offshore drilling, is what we could do. And that's on our own. So, get rid of your phones if you don't like the oil makes plastic. Look, there's a lot of things, just like Randall said, there's a lot of things you should do a check on, if you believe in global warming and protecting the environment and things like that. I get it. There's things that I do, but there's also lines that I draw of some things to where I'm like, man, that's just completely childish and insane. It's my own personal feeling. But the ones that I do, I'm not going out there being like, well, I'm going to apply that law to America, but I'm going to go buy it from China. It's not right. So, not to me. All right, let's go and check the next video. This one was a lot more damning. So, all right, let's listen. This is a lot that we'll be going through, and some of y'all already know what I'm going to be saying. So, let's go through and listen.
At 12:01 a.m., President Trump stabbed America's best friend in the back. My message to the president...
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. That America stabbed their best friend in the back. I wasn't aware that Canada was our best friend. Canada might view America as their best friend, but I'll go on because I'm about to get into something, but I'll go on.
President is this: Canada will fight back. We will defend our people and our economy, and we will put Canada first.
Now, here's my thing. I have no problem with Canada wanting to put Canada first. I have no problem with that. But why are they pissed off? Trudeau and his aunts pissed off that America wants to put America first. It just doesn't seem right. I love how y'all are doing the chilies in the chat. That maybe help out. Will help out. So, what's the problem with putting America first? I see that there's no problem with America wanting to put America first. I think every country should be putting their own country first. So, but apparently this genius right here is saying two things. One is he's now just wanting to put Canada first. All my Canadian friends, if you're watching this right now or re-listening to this, how do you feel about this is the first time that this guy is really saying that he wants to put Canada first? How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel to witness and become aware to that? So he's not even our prime minister yet. So I don't know. Anyhow, I'm totally fine. I'm still buying U.S. products. Let's go, Amanda. Don't say it too loud. You know Trudeau likes to watch what y'all say on the internet. Amanda, I don't know if you saw earlier, but I'll fill you in. They already said that they're cutting out any contracts that have already been signed and dealt with. They're cutting them out. One of them is with Starlink, with Elon Musk. And I'm going, that supplies internet to your people. So you're literally cutting out a contract that you have this deal on that you were comfortable with, and now you want to cut it out. It's not like you can go and get another competitor, is what Ken was saying. So yeah, you watch Trudeau and oh man. Just clicked out of that video, did I not? Oh. Damn it. Give me just a second. There we go. Bring this back up.
President Trump stabbed America's best friend in the back. My message to the president is this: Canada will fight back. We will defend our people and our economy, and we will put Canada first. There is no doubt that our economy will suffer, but so will yours, President Trump.
In fact, Starlink is offered in a lot of places. The places where you would like actually see it to helping would be places, outside of the populated areas, to where they're in, the way northern parts. That's where I think you would be seeing something there that would be a benefit. So, did you hear they are bringing noisemakers and X? Wait, what? For tonight? Game on. Whoever wants to do it. Like, that'll be the fastest way to get kicked out. Like most of Canada besides the metros. So let's continue on, because there is a lot to take out of this.
You're already paying the price, with trillions of dollars erased in stock market value over the last month of these threats. All right.
All right, so stock market, declining here in the last month. Look, if you watch my video, I pointed out to it. I'm not going to bring it over right now because it gets too confusing with bringing stuff on top of each other. Anyhow, the stock market, just so that you know, in the last 20 years, in a 5-day period, about 30 to 50 times, the stock market has gone below 1,000 points. It happens. This is no different. You wanted to sit here and talk about, thousands of points, like 08 and 2018 type stuff, or 22 type stuff. Or no, was that 2020? Somewhere in there. Anyhow, during the pandemic and then the housing market. Look, if it's something like that, that's just one of those things where it sucks. It's understandable. If it happened outside of that norm, yeah, I'm gonna be worried. But 1,000 points over the course of 5 days, I'm not worried about that at all. So, because it's happened so many times, and we watch how we recover. The reason why is there's a lot of people that are like, hey, I just don't know. 1,000 points in 5 days is not entirely a freak out. It's just one of those of where people are like, look, I'm not leaving something in there until I know. And generally what you have seen a lot more of those times, this is just for anybody who's in the stock world. I am not telling you at all with what to do. I'm just throwing out some facts. When you see that stock drop below 1,000 points, like I said, it's happened 30 to 50 times. You should go and look back at how many of those times it's dropped that 1,000 points in a 5-day period, and look what it did afterwards. So, like, I would be that type of person. If I was still in stocks, based upon what I just said, I think some of y'all would know how I would be playing tomorrow morning. This is really serious now. If they're going to put tariffs on maple syrup. Yeah, right. Somewhere else that had smoke bombs in some courts. Yeah, I saw that. I forget what country that was, but I saw that, Holly. Let's see. The yen. Y'all tripped me out with saying yen. The yen carry trade dump it more in August than past month. Just talking point for, yeah, exactly. The Dow has, look, it's how it goes. Generally it goes in this direction, but it's a lot of doot 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 on the way up. It's a staircase. 2018, and then doot 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 doot. So, but yeah, I am, me personally, I'm a big fan of leaving NATO. I don't like the way that NATO's rules are. Like it's almost like, it feels like one of those places that reminds me of a good old boys, and I'm not a fan of the good old boys system. So let's carry on and listen.
Already Americans are paying higher gas prices as at midnight a new American gas tax kicked in on U.S. working class taxpayers and motorists.
On American taxpayers and motorists. Now I'm just going to say, I know I've got Canadian friends listening to me. But these remarks that are being made really sound like you're coming after the American citizens. So, I'm sure Starlink is better than my Bell Canada internet. Starlink is really good. You should, well, never mind. You can't look into it anymore. I was about to say you should look into it. But yeah. Alright, so now here we are with, what's up, crazy dopey? Sounds like it to you? Yeah, it does to me. I haven't heard. You can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm all for being wrong. You can correct me after this, or you can just tell me in here, and I'll take your word. I have not heard Trump say, these tariffs, I'm doing it to hurt the Canadian citizens. I haven't heard anything like that. You know, I heard him say, this is going to put a damper on your economy. You know, I've heard that. But I didn't feel like he was going after the citizens. This guy and the previous guy, I mean, you're literally saying that you're ending contracts with Americans. That's not even something to do with tariffs. And that's one of those to where he's cutting his nose off to spite his face, because where else are you going to get Starlink from? I don't think there's anybody else out there who's supplying internet to the world on a satellite system at all. So, see, I really, that's a fair question. Angie said she wonders if America will cut off power to the areas that Canada supplies power to. I'm going to be very honest. Very, very honest. The way that this guy and the previous guy were talking, I sadly hate to say it, but I think they might. You know, just to do a retaliation. Because they're going after American citizens. They're not going after... I wouldn't give two craps if they sat here and said, you know what? Suck it. You get 50%, petroleum that you use, 50% of it comes from Canada. Guess what? We're hiking that son of a gun up 50%. Or 100%. Or 200%. I don't care. Will that impact us? Yes, it will impact the citizens. But I don't feel that it's a hit towards me. When I hear that there's people losing jobs, and you're going to hear it again. You're going to hear it again. From this guy, he ends up talking about the loss of jobs for Americans. You sound like you're coming after Americans. Let's continue on and listen. You'll get to that.
Your workers will soon start losing jobs. Jobs they had upgrading Canadian raw materials, which, by the way, you were getting at an incredible and ridiculous bargain. And your businesses will be selling fewer products to your closest neighbor. And that's only the beginning.
And this is only the beginning. I'm just being real. Sounds like you're taking it out on the American citizens, and that's the only way that you know how to make money. Now, let me bring y'all in on something. We're all familiar with how Iran does these empty threat promises that they do. I am not saying this as an offense towards Canadian citizens. I'm saying it to this yin yang. That's some empty threats. Acting like that we're going to hurt insanely on the gas, you done bumped your head. I went through it earlier. Saudi Arabia and Iraq. We can get it from them. Will they increase? Yes, I believe they would increase. Why would they not? Supply and demand, right? Venezuela is another option, though. But you also have to where we could tap into Brazil and help build their infrastructures and work together. I gave a demonstration earlier. Just like the Panama Canal. We built infrastructure for it. We benefited from it. They benefited from it. I think that we could have something like that in Brazil. Or, just like Miss Jackie just said, we drill our own. And now leads me to a final point. A final thought. The final boss thought. Look. Trump plays cards. Could this have been Trump's plan all along? Months ago, several months ago, that, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this to Canada. Canada is going to have this type of reaction, and it's going to give me where I can win this. Because now when he sits here and says, hey, Canada's kicked us out, or we can't get these fuel. Gee, think we should be drilling our own land. Yeah, let's go ahead and move these laws around. We already seen what he did with the Paris Treaty. Kick that out. I haven't heard that we've reopened the Keystone Pipeline, and it really wouldn't benefit us that much from doing on with the Keystone Pipeline because that went into Canada. So we're talking about drilling our own. Just even offshore drilling, we could get a substantial amount. For instance, don't hold me to this, but we got 29 BUs from Canada, and our offshore drilling, we got like 12. It's not really going to be impossible for us to drive that up 3 times the amount. So, hook up the Keystone from Alaska, let's go. But we can do stuff. It's not going to happen overnight. The ones that would happen overnight is going to be Venezuela, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. So people are upset that drilling is going to happen in our national parks. I don't see it happening in our national parks. I don't. And I could be very wrong. I haven't looked into that one. Let me see. Hold on. Top 5 places. Alright, so the first one is the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. So you are right on that. That alone, we could get roughly around 10 billion. There's probably another 5 billion that could be made up into the Gulf of America. California's Monterey Shell. That would offer about 21 billion. 21 billion. The reason why there's a current restriction on there is the state regulations. If we could just open that one up, we would actually like California. And we would fix everything. So, Johnson speaking. Okay. Let me bring that in, and I'll shut up. Give me just a second.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
We will leave you now to watch as the joint session of Congress gets ready to hear from President Donald Trump, set to make his address here in just moments. We will bring you the entirety of his remarks live, as well as the Democratic response to follow.
Okay. So once that starts going, I'll bring that up for you. All right. So there's one way. But you want to know where we would get most at? Y'all ready for this? Colorado, Utah, Wyoming. Y'all have an idea how much we could get from those 3 states? Just take a guess. I think some of y'all are in the past. 50 million? Go up more. 100 billion? Keep on driving it up. Keep on going up. You ready for this? 5,000 billion. Keep driving it up. Keep driving it up. 1.4 trillion. Now, Tragic has a number of 3.76 trillion. It's up there. We have no idea. Now, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get advanced technology on it. But we would have so freaking much. We could help other places out. So much untapped. Again, I'm not really afraid. And I think this is part of Trump's master plan. That would be the reason why. Once they all come in, I'll get this video going. What will it do to our wildlife? I mean, there's always an impact, but here's the question, though. What's it doing to the wildlife where we're buying the stuff from? Wouldn't be any different. Drill in Greenland? I don't know about that one. Let me see what laws they're setting in Greenland. Hold on. Number one is so let's see if Greenland allowed it, or Denmark, however you want to say it. Greenland banned it. Oil exploration in 2021. I did not know that. They bought into the whole entire climate change. That would be a hard one to get around. Laughing at Kimmy Poo. What's up, official show plant? Angie Cat 6, Kimmy, Stacy, Amber Tucky, Freedom, Jackie, Terry, Allen. Good to see y'all all. Hope you are having a wonderful, amazing day to all of y'all. Thank you again to everybody who gifted earlier, and greatly do appreciate that. Thank you everybody who told those people. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you everybody who gave the thumbs up. You're commenting like crazy, sharing this live. Greatly do appreciate you. We are just waiting on President of the United States to address the nation, even though this isn't the address to the nation. See what he's got to say. And just see what he's got to say. We'll break down through it. Who thinks Trump's going to let loose I don't know. Well, what do y'all think in the comments? Do y'all think that Trump is going to let loose? I don't think so. I think Trump has took a big chill pill. He doesn't remind me of Trump, 6 years ago. So he's different. He's getting close to being a politician. So that man has more energy than I do. Isn't that weird? We look at somebody that's like twice or 3 times or 4 times their age. Yeah, I expect it to get, pretty much laid out. Has a lot of time to think about things. He does. Abolish the IRS. Look, hold on, Stacy. Hold on. Look, I used to be an enrolled agent. You can't do that. Look, all right, so but being for real though, this has nothing to do with being biased. I'm not a fan of abolishing paying into a system. I do not like the way that a lot of these countries do, where they're like, you do 50%, we'll say that the land is yours. And I'm like, oh boy. Like, it gets into so much money. For instance, just because someone might be in a 22% tax bracket, it's not how it really goes. Like, they get to come out of it like in the 10% range. So, but yes, that is where I'm at. I'm not a fan of abolishing something. What I am a fan of abolishing is where some of this money is going. And I'm not even talking about Doge. With what they're pulling out of. I'm talking about some of this ridiculous nonsense stuff. For instance, I'm going to be very honest. I'm not a fan of how much money we gave to Ukraine. So, like with what Stacey just went on to say, but we have overpaid for decades and it's been wasted and abused. That's my problem. The wasted and abused. That I do not like. So all right. Here we go. Let's play this out. What did D's now say? I said, ask chat, the meaning of Musk. Oh, yeah? No joke. I haven't done that, Ice. Have not done that one. All right, we'll keep waiting. Let's see. What woman was working illegally? Elon will be there. Let's see, what did D's now say? I see where he said agreed earlier. I'm trying to see what he said earlier. Oh, It's always coffee time. Oh. Is that what y'all were talking about? Would be funny if Zelensky showed up to sign the minerals deal. I'm wondering where that's being signed at. So, you think we are leaving NATO? Look, I'm going to be honest. Any dynamite explosions that Donald Trump wants to do, he needs to go ahead and do it right now. That way, at the end, it looks like he's, just being a really good guy, so to say. So, I'm not sure what's with the pink. Angie throwing in the gift of the coffee. Let's go. Thank you so much. Greatly do appreciate that. Thank you, Angie. I got told today I'm more American than the Americans. There's truth in that, Amanda. There is truth in that. Why? Because that's some Americans, man. It's some Americans. And that's fine. I'm not going to say it's not fine, but yeah, it's just some things. You're a supporter of Trump. Yeah. Yeah. Trudeau's done a number on Canada, though. Taking away what Canadians can search and what the news is telling. Like, I legit had people thinking that Trudeau did not have threats towards America. And I'm like, either A, you're not looking at the news, or B, that news is not making you what the remark has of what Trudeau has said. So, how many times can shake the same people hands, shake the hand of the same people? Yeah. I feel you on that. Yeah, I'm the type of person, let's see if there's anybody else like me. When I'm in church and they're like, shake the hands of the person beside you. All right, so the person beside me is I'll shake my wife's hand. And then I'll just kind of like look at the other person, I'll kind of nod and do like that. I'm not a person to be like, oh man, I got to go around and shake everyone's hands. You go to TikTok to post news. To find news, yeah. They are wearing pink in solidarity to women's rights. Okay. I have a question. And I ask this to people, and generally deals with women, who believe in abortions. I have a question for you. Why are they not fighting for laws? For instance, getting your tubes tied early. Because like right now, the laws are that you have to be at X age, you have to have X amount of kids, type deal. Like, look, I'm totally fine if you want to get your tubes tied. Just like I'm totally fine with getting snipped. In fact, I have been snipped. I got snipped because of a medical issue. I'll just leave it at that. So exactly as Deb said, good luck on finding a doctor to do that at an early age. Look, I think that it should be allowed. So I've fight for those laws. I guess that's all I'm getting at. Fight for those laws, then we can have conversations on other things. So, see, I just don't agree with it. If you're going to allow a man to get snipped, why can't you allow a woman to get snipped? That's where I sit there and I'm like, all right, I'm a fan of women's rights if that's the law that you're wanting to go after. So, you had your tubes tied in the 20s. Yeah, I unfortunately know a lot of women, sadly, who are not have not been able to do that because of these laws. Man, I hate that for you, Deb. Yeah, after your second son, yeah. Yeah, I see Plant said that and Elsie said that. But I look, I'm just, I think if there was something like that, I think that would draw a percentage of somewhat down, of abortions being done. And I feel that should be something in women's rights. So, 50 years ago, you had the husband sign the paperwork if you wanted the tubes tied, even if you had multiple children. That's crazy. Thanks for educating me. I knew I didn't want children anymore. I think women should be able to have the option. Yeah. I don't know many people, look, I'm not going to call you out or anything. I'm just curious. Is there anybody in here that feels that women should not have that right to tie their tubes? I would just like a conversation. Because what I'm going to ask is, well, what do you feel about a man sitting there getting snipped? So... Pistachios. Absolutely not. We women should always have an option. Yeah. It was supposed to get started about 13 minutes ago, and I jumped on an hour early. What's up, Miss Howell? Are they late? Look, for all you 80s fans, okay? I'm talking about y'all that were born in the 70s and you listen to 80s rocks, all right? Look, I'm going to throw something out to you, okay? Y'all all know Axl Rose, right? You know how he did with concerts? Sometimes he'd just show up crazy late, sometimes not even at all. Meet the President of the United States. So... sounds like most rock bands. Is Pelosi out there? They're getting a side. Oh yeah, so there you go. Finally seeing President Donald Trump. I'm just curious of how it sounds. Not really seeing any aggressors or hearing any boos, so that's good. Oh, I'm sure there's people there. Hey, Adam Schiff is there. How salty. I'm saying this on both sides. I hope you understand this. How salty is it that you don't even want to acknowledge your president? Like, I think I'm just being for real on this. I'm just being so very for real on this. Regardless what side you're on. If you can't even acknowledge the president was shaking his hand, you should not be any type of representative for the United States. It's fine that you disagree. I don't care that you disagree with everything that he says. But if you can't shake the hands of a person, you can't acknowledge them, I don't like it. Like, I got upset with Obama when I sat there and I saw some people like talk about his kids. I'm like, what? Like, quit being childish. Yeah. So I don't know. I just, that's me. Dang it, on ads. I meant to turn off the ads. I think I'm gonna eventually turn off the ads because of how many, as long as I got people that are gifting me. Because I make, we'll see what I make off this live. But yeah. Piss their pants on what he's going to say tonight. All right. Here we go, where he's going to say thank you about 100 times, and then he's going to finally take the mic. So, should we wait till he finally takes the mic? We need someone to put the USA first for a change. I'm right there with you. I do not mind a country putting themselves first, and I think America should. We have not done that, and definitely these last 4 years. And I'm not trying to be a pissant or disrespectful to Biden. I'm just not. I'm just frankly being honest. Did I cuss? What'd I say? Did I say pissant? So, all right, let's go.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States, members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back. 6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. Thank you. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country. And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Oh, snap.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Are we serious? There is no playing around. Did you hear them saying, hey, goodbye?
Go. Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record, to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again. Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back. And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America. I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer. We believe that whether
1/3 of all CFP exam takers choose college for financial planning for their required education. When you're ready to become a CFP
on
professional,
skill and
choose from
competence,
3
not race
flexible
or
education
gender.
programs.
Very important.
Stupid ad.
We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding. And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control, and we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight. Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. I don't know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves.
Right?
And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud. And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taken back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby. Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years older than our country. But we're going to find out where that money's going, and it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families. And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it. With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax. Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. Good luck. And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America. And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025, and it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country, first term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens.
What occupation lets you work with whomever you want and gives the opportunity to change lives with every...
Make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China, and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada. But we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer.
That's just not how free trade works. But also, he's criticizing a deal, the USMCA, that he negotiated and signed to replace NAFTA during his first term, and is acting like this.
Kamala had won.
They had previously announced they were going to do it before the
$500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China.
It's so fascinating to see how so many of these big tech leaders
the biggest in the world,
have really flocked to Donald Trump.
In the world, has a tremendous
Unlike the
amount,
inauguration, though, they're, except for Elon Musk, they're not all sitting there tonight.
Announced a $1 investment to build the most powerful chips on Earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people. And they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to. Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen. And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard. has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great job. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us, very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley. Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order? Thank you very much. All three savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy. In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great, great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it. And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bond.
Sorry, I know, it's ads. They're getting out of the way, though.
They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. One year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36, think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Go get him. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Just like I was saying.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets. Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it. Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1. But that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans, but I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350.
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story. With a professional website
you have to offer.
Stupid ad. Don't worry, it'll be going away. I hate this thing. But it's what we got to deal with, sorry. I'm trying to get the chat GPT to relate stuff right. So to help y'all out.
Today I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight. To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you. To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age, these workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities, these warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond. And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so there is that. That was just kind of a recap of what's been going on for the last couple of months. Not gonna lie, I expected a little bit more of something. like something new, but that just wasn't really. I mean, it's things that majority of us already knew. I think we have, some interesting things to talk about. Greenland, Panama Canal, the tariffs if we want to. But yeah, I think a lot of us knew this. Now, one thing that we did get to see out of this, we are seeing that there wasn't the spicy fighting Trump. It was just very straight to the point on things and move on to the next one. Sure, he threw some jabs, but they weren't, knock you out and wanting to argue. I think the president, I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyhow, did it? Okay, it disconnected for a minute. I'm back. But I think with how they started it, with saying, hey, this person, don't behave like this. Either you can sit down, chill, watch the show, or you can leave. And he continued, and they kicked him out. And I think that made... I think this is just how Trump's wanting to be. It's just this respectful, polite way as much as possible. So, let's see. One thing that I do want to say, I did see what Nex said to Amber Tuckey. That's just Nex. I'm going to be honest with you. That's just one thing I've always said. Don't disrespect the members, and that's all. So it's fine if you disagree, but just don't use an insult way. I appreciate that, Nex. Thank you so much. So, let's see. So, fair questions came up. Let's see. Let me pull those up. And we will talk about them because I was pulling them up on the side as y'all were. Let me get rid of this. And I'll make that an entire picture. Oh. And then make that into one. All right, so Greenland's a lot. I'm not even going to read all the different ways to obtain Greenland, but there is ways to obtain Greenland. So I'll read off the main point, and then I'll just read off the liners. So the idea of the United States obtaining Greenland as a state has been a topic of discussion and on occasion, most notably in 2019 when Donald Trump's first reign was suggested purchasing the island from Denmark. However, the notion of Greenland becoming a United States is highly complex, both diplomatically and legally. So, one is Greenland's current status. You got sovereignty, population and politics, independence, movement. Then on to point number 2, legal and diplomatic obstacles. You have the Danish sovereignty, then you have Greenland's autonomy. Alaska, let's see. The closest historical precedent is the purchase of Alaska from Russia in 1867. However, this was a different situation, as Alaska was not a self-governing territory, and Russia was willing to sell it, while Denmark is not one that is wanting to sell. It'll be a tough one. But I have the question, what is the one way or the other type deal? So, like, what do you mean on that? So, I pray for this country, let alone this world. Yeah. Greenland should be independent. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, we'll just see how this goes. We'll just see how it goes. What was the other question? Purchasing Panama Canal. That one actually seemed like that could be a little bit. There would be, politics and legal into play. But let me read that one off. So, Panama Canal is currently under the Panamanian control, as it has been since December 31st, 1999. The United States officially handed over the canal to Panama, which I still can't believe. But whatever. The transfer of control was the result of whatever. Carter's treaties signed in 1977 between the United States and Panama. These treaties established a timeline. Let me get rid of this because we don't need to see this anymore. Yeah, y'all can just see this. As a result, there is no legal or diplomatic basis for the United States to reclaim control over the Panama Canal. So there's that. Yeah, since 1999, Panama's fully controlled it. Claiming the canal legally, it would require a fundamental change in international law, or a new agreement between U.S. and Panama to transfer control back. However, Panama is a sovereign nation, and there is no indication that the Panama would be willing to hand back control. Politically and diplomatically, the possibility of the United States taking the canal back would be highly controversial and likely provoke strong opposition from Panama, its allies, and the international communities. In addition, the U.S. would likely face diplomatic and legal challenges if attempted to take the canal by force or pressure. Alternative way would, instead of seeking to regain control of the canal, the U.S. could focus on strengthening its economic, diplomatic, and security. I could see that, but I don't think that Panama would be for it. The best path forward for the United States is fostering strong cooperation with Panama in terms of trade and regional security, rather than pursuing control of the canal itself. So that's where we're at on that. What are y'all saying? I only agree Greenland being part of America only if they want. I haven't seen many want to be a part of America. Yeah, I don't. And you say the same for Canada. Yeah, I haven't seen. I don't know anybody in Greenland that wants to be a part of America. So. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone in Greenland that wants to be a part of America. I have seen Canadians that do like America, and if they realized how many of them have dual citizenship and how many of them are come to America for their health care. You would know, and Amanda says she's like, I'm one of those Canadians. So yeah, I've seen that. There was Canadians who spoke up when former President Obama sat there and was saying, hey, he wanted this healthcare system and everything. And there was Canadians that stuck up and they were like, hold on a second, we have to come to America to get some of our surgeries done. I actually have my brother-in-law. His father just passed away because cancer came back. And literally he went in there and they were like, best for you just to go on and die. Like, there was no try at all. And he passed away. So, you could have a dual citizenship with Canada. Let's go. I'd be fine with that, if I ever wanted to. I don't know. I don't really see a purpose for me. But yeah. There is, I'll say this, there is places that I would like to have a dual citizenship with. I'll just leave it at that. I know if I said it, it turns into a controversial topic. Alberta's coming to DC. Oh, Albert's coming to DC to talk to Trump about becoming a state. Half of my family on my mom's side is in Canada. Okay, that totally makes sense. So, let me unpin this comment. What else was there that was brought up tonight? I got a feeling, I don't know how the media is going to play this. I don't know if they're going to want to bring up the border, because if they bring up the border and they say, oh, this isn't the most and everything, it was back through 2011 through 2016, they're going to have to bring up Obama. And I don't think the media wants to sit there and be like, hey, we used to have a former president that was Democrat that was way more forceful than what Trump is on the border. I don't think the media wants to play that one. So, I don't think there was really much more that was controversial. Yeah, I understand why Trump would want the Panama. I understand why everyone would. I really don't think there's really an American in here that's like, no, leave it to Panama. Not when you look at the numbers to it. Same thing with Greenland. Man, could you imagine the minerals that come out of Greenland? But it ain't gonna happen. Canada, I don't know. I don't know on that one. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a no, but if it was something in the, like, I could see the next 100 years, I could see in the next 100 years, like, Canada becoming, some way like a territory, not a state, but a territory. I could see it like that. You know, like Australia has territories. I could see that. But I can't see it in the next 4 years. Yeah, kids in cages, yeah. So, next, the people have voted yes several times, but the government won't let it go through. I don't understand why people want Greenland and Canada as part of America when we haven't made Puerto Rico a state yet. You know, it's pretty funny that you mentioned Puerto Rico not being a state, but yeah, there you go. So the reason why Greenland and Canada people scream more for it is because what we could get out of it. I mean, there's a lot that we could get out of it. If Canada was even just a territory, the petroleum that we get out of there, I mean, gas prices would be back down to right now. Gas is what, maybe 3 something, low 3s in a lot of average places. So we would have gas more than likely back down to $2 with ease. Yeah, we would be better off. The way that maybe we could get the Panama Canal is making a new canal. You know, sitting there doing the structure. I don't know if you've ever seen the map, but give me just a second. I'll show you a map. Let me take away the window here. And then also, let me fix this window. Here we go. So this is a line waiting. This is a line. So these ads kill me. But yeah, if you could eliminate that, make it where it's faster, then products start moving through. Places in the world benefit more from it, because that's the only way you're going to get around. I mean, you got to check this out. People find it a lot more beneficial even to come up through the south of Africa and come out this way and cross through. Why? Because this area is so treacherous. I have no idea who's speaking. I kind of stay off of when they got another politician who speaks. Some of them sound weird. So yeah, that's just me. Let's see. They're saying Trump thinks that America's not wonderful. Just to make it better. Yeah, if they want to rock with that. So, but for instance, like here's a thing. You have a military trying to come through here. And they have to wait through this line. So... But yeah, if you could, fix that stuff, it'd be interesting. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry about that. I didn't sneeze on you. Mockingbird, oh yeah. What did your gas is 141.9. Good grief. So hold on. I'll tell you. You said 141.9. Let's see. So that comes... Are you sure? 141? Just to let you know, that's like $100. Wait a second. You meant to... Is that how... Okay, 1.41. Man, good grief. All right. Hold on. Bless you, thank you. Some of y'all are back in time, just letting y'all know. Like when you make sure that your live button is, you click that red and it'll put you in the latest of the live. That is true. It's liters, not gallons. All right, so hold on. All right. Let's see. So 141 a liter. Would come out to $3.90 roughly. So right now our average is $3.20. Why is it so stinking high for y'all? It doesn't make sense to me. Let's see what it says. Exchange rate? No, that's not anything to do with it. Don't you step on the keyboard. Now I can't see the screen. Little bugger. Supply and demand. Of course it is. Transportation, refining, cost. Seasonal price fluctuations. I could see that. So we get it from y'all, and we pay less than y'all. What the freak? Okay. 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 Yeah, what is the price of milk and eggs there for you? Hold on, I'm gonna find out. So in American dollars, it would come out to about $3.50. So you pay $4 for milk. Price of milk in American dollars is almost $5. That's how much it is. So and then in America, our milk is about $4. So we're better on milk. Eggs are about the same. Gas is less. That's still so confusing to me. I gotta show you all this. Hold on. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. Can I go back in time? Yeah, it's pretty funny. You'll see like a line of cop cars just come rolling through here in about a minute. Fire training. No, there wasn't any bombshells, Brandon. I mean, the only thing that he discussed that I really don't see happening is the Panama Canal and Greenland. But nothing else. He basically just spoke again on how things have been done in the last couple of months. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, so y'all's milk is more. You're behind. What's up, Hot Pink Girl? Good to see you. Tragic. Sad Canucks being sold out by the globalist. Commonwealth countries, same thing. At the moment, globalists work for central bankers who serve and are the Satanists. D said, Mike, they have to get these leaders out of the government. Socialism is not the way to go. It's drowning the citizen. Yeah, I'm not a fan of socialism either. Socialism and communism just serve too much of a similarity of things. Bags of milk, yeah. Canada pays more because they don't process it. Huh. Yeah, here comes the line of cop cars. Yeah, socialism and communism, yeah, it's something you don't want to be. Like, when Bernie Sanders was running, Bernie doesn't bother me, but he's very, very strong on socialism. And no. So, yeah, the reason why I don't like I don't even have to list it, but one of the things that I don't like about socialism is the government tells the employer how to treat their customers and employee. And we seen that, 4 years ago. We seen how they told people in the stores, restaurants, things like that to behave, and to me that was an act of socialism. Let's check news. Hot Pink Girl going to bed. Thank you so much for being in here, and thank you for the gift again. I greatly do appreciate you. Have a wonderful and blessed night, Hot Pink Girl. Let's do this. And let's see. Has anything been added? So as we saw, Trump said that he got a letter from Zelensky, and they're ready to work under Trump. And then he's also got where Russia is saying that they want peace. So that's what's being said. Let's see. Anything going on in Israel? Ooh, very quiet. Man, these ads are killer. It's alright. Final statement of emergency. Arab summit calls on the Security Council to deploy peacekeeping forces in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Also says that Egypt's plan to rebuild Gaza. Isn't there a thing I can buy that just is an overall ad blocker for all these websites? Kind of like our health insurance dictating what kind of care our doctor gets to provide. Oh, don't even get me started on that one. Man. Wind gusts are going nuts right now. Look at these fires down here in Oklahoma. That's not good. Not with these winds. A dog bowl? Down for that. Man! So many fire outbreaks. Look at these gusts up in the Tennessee, Carolina mountains. Wonder what this fire's going to be tomorrow. There's the South Carolina fire. No, I told you about that, right? Y'all remember, I sat there and I showed you on the maps how you had a line that went across. Vincent, come on. Your tail's in the way. They can't see me. Don't give me that look. He's going to give me that look like, why I got to move. The wind is rough where you're at. But I showed y'all where the maps were weird looking. What was it, last week? Give me a second. Where did I make that video at?
Can we just
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go again with the weather radar messing up again, and these red spots.
I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Like, I literally showed you all these red spots that were showing up. Y'all remember this, right? Y'all remember this, right? I sat there and I was like, give it about a week and we'll see what shows up. Here we are. Here we are, a week and a half later. Now, all this wind and all these fires. But I need to update that video. Yep. We're Deadpool 1. Again, I don't want to be known for that one, but yeah. Are we watching you? You might have been. Missouri 60 plus wins. Crazy. It is going to continue being rough. Blizzard Warren, where you at? Kansas City? No joke. Crazy. What am I needing to play? I don't plan on going anywhere tomorrow. The radar? Dude, I wonder how these fires are going to be tomorrow. Like right here. There ain't no rain hitting there. Is there any rain on that? Okay, some happened there. That's good. Oh, they got drenched on that, so that's good. Look at all these fires. Alright, so that line's going to run across. That was a hellacious storm. I mean, just hellacious how it's doing. I so thought that was snow for a second. But yeah. You're dreading the storm? Nah, I don't know. Is it that bad? Whose birthday is it? Star, have a wonderful and blessed and amazing birthday tomorrow if we don't see you. Thank you so much for being in here. You're going to be stuck at home. Hopefully I'll be able to go live. Thank you so much for being in here. I appreciate that. Says a lot that you want to celebrate your birthday with us. But yeah, happy 21st birthday. Congratulations. Winds have really come up the last few hours in Iowa. Yeah. Happy birthday. We're so glad you came. Happy birthday. No, they're so nice. Thank you, everybody, for telling Starlet happy birthday. Happy 21st birthday, by the way. Let's see, what else do we have going on in the weather? Wait, what? The number of rape cases in the United Kingdom have increased 7-fold. Good night. Starlet said that she's 21. That's awesome. Congratulations. I think she was saying that she voted for number 45. I think that's what she was saying. China's embassy came out and said, if war is what the United States wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end. Okay. Starlet's going to have her first beer tomorrow. See what else is going on in news. A lot of people just talking about, what Trump said. Flight radar messed up. Someone said it was messed up earlier. Yep, still messed up. That was weird. Said it needed verification. Looks like they updated flight radar. It looks, I don't know, it's a lot more clean. Alright, let's do fun stuff. Deuce. What's up? Not a lot of people wanting to fly in these storms that are all here. Dun, 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 you do have some flying through here. They, no one going through this line of storm. They're like, nope, screw that. We're out. You're a fan of flat tax? See, I'm not really a fan of that one either. My biggest thing is, stop the idiotic spending. You're over there in Des Moines. don't know. Maybe is Crazy Dopey still in here? Let's move to Canada, man. Let's head up to the British Columbia side, though. Alright, y'all. I think I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate you all being in here, hanging tight. I was hoping for more interesting stuff tonight, but just didn't really deliver. So, but as I like to say as much as I can at the end of the night, don't live in fear. Because when you live in fear, you die several times in your life. When you don't live in fear, you only die one time. Starlet, happy birthday, or happy early birthday again. And thank you to everybody who gifted tonight. Greatly do appreciate you all. Vincent says, thank y'all as well. Thank you everybody for the comments, giving the thumbs up. When you go to leave this video, go and comment on the video itself. Just what your favorite part is. It'll help kind of boost it. I will probably end up removing ads. We'll see what I end up making from this. So, but we're getting it where my lives don't have ads. But yeah, appreciate you all. Have a wonderful, blessed, and amazing night. Thank you for being in here. Take care. God bless. Night, everybody. Thank y'all. Night.